In today's lesson, I'm going to be teaching you about metaphors and similes. You may have heard of them before. They are literary devices used to describe an object or an action. They are commonly found in creative writing such as novels, plays, and poetry. Before we begin, I've prepared some learning objectives for you. Let's have a look at them. Firstly, I want you to learn the definition of a metaphor and a simile. Secondly, I want you to be able to distinguish between a metaphor and a simile. And lastly, I want you to be able to use them in a sentence. Okay, let's move on to the definitions. It's really important that you understand the differences between them. They can be quite similar at times, but when you break it down, it's really easy. So let me do this for you. What is a metaphor? A metaphor is a way of saying something is something else. Therefore, it is an implicit comparison. Implicit, like the word implied, so it is a suggestion, when in fact the word that you are using cannot literally be applied to the thing that you are describing. Let me give you an example. You can say, he has the heart of a lion. We know that the human heart does not have any comparison to that of a physical lion's heart, but we're using it in the sense that this person has the vitality and the ability to never give up like a lion. We're just comparing the characteristics. Whereas when it comes to similes, it is a way of saying something is like something else, therefore it is an explicit comparison. Therefore, we're drawing comparisons between things that are similar. For example, you can say a cloud is fluffy like candy floss. If you've seen candy floss, you know that it does have that texture and it does look very similar. So when you're thinking of the two of them, it's quite easy to break it down when you look at simile as similar. It is literally similar, whereas a metaphor, it is just implied, so it's not similar, but we're still drawing the comparison. Another way to make this easy for you is to think about the rules. So when we're talking about similes, we always apply connecting words, such as like and as. This is a great way to spot the difference between the two, because you will literally see the word like and as used in similes. So he is as brave as a lion. He had hair like a bush. um, so that's one way of doing it. You won't find connecting words in metaphors. So now that we've cleared that up, just remember the two basic rules that I've given to you. This is all you'll need to know in order to use them properly and to know the difference. And once you really understand this, you'll be fine when it comes to using them. So remember, a metaphor is an implicit comparison. It is implied, and the word you use, it cannot literally be applicable to the object or action you are describing. And metaphors do not use connecting words. In the case of similes, it is an explicit comparison, a way of saying that something is like something else, and you use connecting words such as like and as. Great. Now that we've done that, I want to give you some examples to help you visualize what I've just described. Here is a table that separates similes and metaphors. So they're describing the same thing, but they're just in the form of a simile and a metaphor. So you can see here, her heart is like gold. We have the word like, the connecting word. However, if this was a metaphor, you would say her heart is gold. So you're literally saying that the heart is gold. As I said in my previous example, we're not saying that the heart actually is gold, as we know that that isn't a possible comparison, but you're just putting the word here for a literary effect. And we're just saying that the person has a good heart, they're a good person. Okay, moving on. The world is like a stage. So this is actually a quote from one of Shakespeare's plays, As You Like It. You'll find a lot of similes and metaphors in his plays. I really recommend having a look at some of these. They're great. So here we're having the comparison of the world and the stage using the connecting word like, and for a metaphor we're using is as the implicit comparison. Okay, so we have a few more here. He eats like a pig, he is a pig. You are like a rock, you are a rock. Your eyes are like sunshine, you are my sunshine. Poor as dirt and sea of sand. So hopefully these examples have given you a bit more of an idea of the ways in which you can use similes and metaphors to describe a variety of different things, but you can see that it really does elevate the language and paints a picture for the reader. Okay, so here is my final slide. I want you to be able to use your own metaphor or simile in a sentence to describe something. So I've written down 2 examples here. Can you describe a dog using a simile? I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. So I came up with the simile. The dog's fur was soft like a rabbit. What did you come up with? Right, now let's try this using a metaphor. So I want you to describe the night sky using a metaphor. Have a think about it. Right, what I said was the night is a big black cat. What did you come up with? Great, so now that we've done this activity, we've finished our lesson. I really hope you have a clear understanding of these 2 literary devices and that you'll be able to apply them to your own work. Hopefully you've completed the objectives that I've prepared for you and that you will in the future be able to master this and enjoy being creative when it comes to writing. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.